Everything is connected, and I'm here to tell you how. I'm Dr. Laura Hanson with Connect My Brain. This podcast is for moms who are concerned about their child's development. The brain impacts our mind, body, and overall health. I explain how your brain is wired, what happens when it's out of balance, and how early childhood development not only impacts your child, but can affect you as an adult years later. Want to know how to improve your life? Join me and learn about your amazing brain and what it can do for you. Hi, everybody. It's Dr. Laura with Connect My Child's Brain. We are doing a bit of a facelift, and you get to hear the first recording under our new label, Connect My Child's Brain. So today we're going to dive right in. What I want us to focus on is language development. So why aren't our children talking when they're expected to acquire language? So first of all, kids don't just start talking. It's a step-by-step process. And that's one of the things here at Connect My Child's Brain we really focus on is a step-by-step process. And that means if we are going to bring it down to language, you start with your vowel sounds. Your vowel sounds are when your baby is oohing and cooing. And then you bring in the consonant sounds, which are the harder sounds, like ma, da. And you start to combine those early sounds to the harder sounds. And then that's when they begin to combine those sounds, and then they'll turn into words. So what does it really mean when a child's language is halted? It means it was interrupted. So always remember, when you are born, you are fully formed, but you are not fully functioning. You are down in your brainstem, and every experience that you are going to have is literally going to fire up other parts of the brain. So it's really important that every step get followed. So when something isn't going in the direction that we expect it to, then that means something happened. It could be something inside of the body, and it can be something that happened on the outside of the body, influencing that child's typical progression. And there's many different reasons for that. Some of the common ones do have to do with the information we know now with vaccines, that children were progressing as expected. And then around that 15 to 18 month mark, all of a sudden they started going backwards. That's another issue that I really want parents to understand. Children do not have an extensive library. This is why when something is interrupted, they will regress, because that's the only point of reference that they actually have. So in order to regain the proper patterns that are necessary to begin the language development, we got to go backwards to go forwards. So one of the things is when you're born, you're more right brain dominant and you are more back of the brain dominant. And you're building all different kinds of neurological columns. One of the things that has to do with language on that right-hand side is the need to talk. So that child has to actually interpret an internal need in order to start to build that language. Make sure you go back and look at that podcast on interoception, getting that internal compass communication that actually makes you pay attention to things that you need. Not only caring for yourself, but do I have a need that I want to communicate? Oftentimes, children that are not going into that typical direction that right side of the brain gets dampened and everything starts going more left brain. And that's the work of talk. And the need to talk and the work of talk have a communication known as timing, which is going to allow that information, the sensory input, to come in and actually execute the motor output. So there's many different steps that go into building language, not just popping into communication. For more information, make sure you check out our website. Now, it's still called Connect My Brain. Bear with us because that's going to be many steps. But there you can schedule a consultation. Maybe you have a question regarding this information, and I would love to chat with you. I hope you have a great rest of your day and be blessed. Thanks for listening. I hope today's lesson will help you or someone you love. Do you have a question or just really want to talk to somebody about brains? Connect with me over on Facebook or Instagram at Connect My Brain. Looking to understand and optimize your particular brain? Check out connectmybrain.com for course information and resources. See you next class.